This video is going to look at some of the challenges behind writing numbers in base 2 or binary. What you have to get used to is creating numbers using only certain other numbers. So in binary you can only have one of a number or none of a number. So you can have a 1 or no ones. You can't have two 1s. All you can have is a 1, 1, 1 or no ones. You can have 1 8 or no 8s, 1 4, no 4s, 1 2, no 2s, 1 16 or no 16s. So really what you have to do is think of it as a challenge in these terms. If I give you a number, you have to come up with a way of making that number from these numbers, and you're only allowed to use each of the numbers here once. So as an example, let me give you a challenge. I'd like you to write out the number 7. How can I make the number 7 using these numbers here? So you can pause the video, have a think about it, and then I'll go through the answer. Okay, hopefully you got an answer. To make 7 using these numbers here, I would have a 4, I would have a 2, and I would have a 1. And if I put my pluses in there. So 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I can make the number 7 using powers of 2, which all these are powers of 2, having a 4, a 2 and a 1. Okay, fairly straightforward hopefully. Let's actually, let me just undo what I've done, that's probably quicker. Let's have a go at a different number. See if you can get the answer to that. So 7, well, it's fairly straightforward, 7. Let's give you something a bit harder. How about 19? How would you get 19 from the numbers here? So again, have a pause, have a think about it, write down an answer, we'll go through it in a second. Right, so 19, hopefully what you got, is you got a 16 plus a 2 plus a 1. So 16 plus 2 is 18 plus 1 is 19. So we can get the number 19 from 16 plus 2 plus 1. One last go just to make sure. Hopefully this is fairly straightforward for you. If not, you can come up with plenty of exercises yourself. Pick some numbers, have a go at them. But as a last one we'll have a go at, how about 30? How would you get 30 from these numbers? So pause, have a go. Okay, the solution, you get a 16. Let's add an 8 onto that. That would give us 24. 24 plus 4 would be 28. And then a 2 would give us 30. So 16 plus 8 is 24, plus 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. So there we have 30. Right, how about writing this sort of thing out, run out of space, using the binary number system. So as we did before, I need to write out the column headings. So let me stick to red for the numbers. So we have 2 to the power 0, followed by 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4. Now you will get used to these and you'll be able to write these out fairly quickly. But we start with 1, 2 to the 0 is 1, but I'm just going to double it every time. Double of 1 is 2, double 2 is 4, double 4 is 8, double 8 is 16. You'll soon get used to them, I hope. So there we have the column headings. So if I write my value out, my number 30, and I can show what number system I'm using by writing the number system down here. It's not power down the bottom. So this just says that I'm writing 30 in base 10. So how do I write that in base 2 is really what the question is. What I've said is I want a 16, an 8, a 4 and a 2. So I'm going to show that by saying I'm going to have one 16, I'm going to have one 8, I'm going to have one 4, I'm going to have one 2, and I'm going to have 0 ones. So we did that before. 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 is 30. So in other words, I write out 30 in base 10 like that. In binary, I write it out like that. And these two numbers, these two are showing the same value. They're both representing the value of 30. They're just doing it in different ways. The difficulty with binary is really getting used to it. The idea is fairly straightforward. You're still representing numbers, you're just using a different method to do it. And what you have to do is this challenge you were doing before, where any number you're given in binary, you have to work out how you get it from powers of 2. The easiest way to do that, I think, is to write out your powers of 2, write out your number, and then work it all out. Start with the biggest and work down. So there, you can now hopefully write out some numbers in binary. So if I don't run out of paper here, let's have another go. Right, I'm just going to do my little grid. And hopefully I'll have worked out how to edit this by the time it comes around to posting it, so you won't have to listen to all of this. So we'll stick with some smaller numbers to begin with. So we've got 1s, we've got 2s, we've got 4s, we've got 8s, we've got 16. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Right, so I'm going to give you some numbers which I would like you to convert into binary. So let's start with number 10. Then have a go at 15. Then have a go at number 29. And see how you do. So you can pause, write out an answer somewhere. Get a bit of paper, write out an answer. Have a go, then restart the video, well, unpause it, and we'll have a look at the answer. Right, let's have a look at the first one. 10 in denary, in base 10, is 1 10 and 0 units. To get that in binary, looking at these numbers, what numbers do I need to use to count to get to the value 10? Well, I need a 1 and I need a 2. And then I'm going to fill in 0. So for this in binary is 1010. That's the same as 10 in base 10. Hopefully you got that. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay. So if we have a look at this one, 15. How can you get 15? Oh, I don't want any 16s because that would be too much. So I'll have an 8. That leaves me 7. Oh, that would leave me 3. That would leave me 1. There we go. So 15 would be 1 8, 1 4, 1 2, 1 1. That's 15. Let's have a look at the last one, which is 29. Right. So 29 is going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to have 1 16, okay, and an 8, that's 24, so I need 5 more. So I'll have a 4, I'll have a 1, so 16 plus 8 is 24, plus 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29, put my 0 in, So the answer to 29 in binary, or the answer, the 29 expressed in binary is 11101. The 2's and the 10's here, don't worry too. If you forget about them, don't worry. You don't have to put them in the exam and with me. I'd be quite happy as long as it's obvious that it's in binary. That's fine. So you can get rid of them if you want. Don't feel too stressed about those. You've got enough to worry about converting between denary, base 10 and base 2, denary to binary. Right, hopefully you feel a little bit more confident of that. What I would recommend you do, if you're not, is come up with your own numbers. Have a go. Just come up with some numbers in base 10 and try to express them in binary. There's plenty of stuff on the web that will check, but really you don't need the web to check. If you know the column headings, you can count up yourself. Right. The other thing to look at is the other way round. What about binary to denary? So what, for example, is that number? So there's a binary number. What is that in base 10? The easy way to do it, I think, is to write out the column headings and fill it in. So it's a 0, a 1, a 1 and a 1. So what is that value? Well, that's an 8 and a 4, that's 12, plus 2, it equals 14. What about, what's this equal to? Have a think about that, and I'm running out of things what I could do. I could do that. What's that equal to? So pause, have a go, I'll go through the answers. Alright, so let's have a look at the answers. Hopefully what you got was, so let's do the first, this one, let's put the numbers in. 0, 1, 0, well that's a 4 and a 2, well that equals 6. What about the last one? I didn't really need to write that out. It was a 0, 1. So that's a 4 plus a 2, which is 6 plus a 1. That equals 7, which you might have worked out. Hopefully. I've got them right. I hope you have too. Again, practice. The more you practice at this, the better you will get, the easier it will become. Okay, you in the exam will be expected, if I find some space, to be able to work up to 8 binary, 8 columns, I should say. So 1s, 2s, 4s, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So there are the best straight line there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't count that very well. Did I say 8? It should be 8. That's the biggest column you'll need for the exam. It would be handy to know that the next one is 256. That's great, but you don't need to worry about it. Stop here. So when you practice the questions I'll give you, questions in the exam, questions you can set yourself, use this size. So that's really, you need to go away, you need to learn, practice writing out this pattern and converting from binary to base 10, which is denary, and vice versa. Given a denary number, can you convert to binary? They're the two things you must be able to do. So make sure you practice. You can come back and look at these videos. The point of these videos is they can be a revision tool. You can come back and have a look at them. Otherwise, good luck.